Okay, so I'm here to tell you about this book that I've written, which is called Worldchanging 101. It's kind of a cheeky title. If it sounds like I have the answers about how you change the world, I'm going to give them to you. But of course, a good 101 course, a good first-year college course, doesn't actually give you answers. What it does is it reframes the questions in ways that help you find your own answers. And that's what I'm trying to do with this book. It's a very exciting book for me in lots of ways. And this social campaign is about funding the printing and the design and the editing of the book. And on the heels of that, this really cool website we're going to do. And on the heels of that, I think a movement that we're trying to build and spark. So there's a lot of excitement for me in this, and I hope there will be some for you as well. So this is a book for people who are good-hearted but overwhelmed. And I think that describes a whole lot of us. It's a book for people who want their lives to matter. And I think that describes a whole lot of us. It's a book for people who understand that there are all these issues in the world that are dire, and we can describe at length all the problems. And we don't tend to take a whole lot of action in the face of those problems. So this is a book about discerning which things we might be called to take on and how to get started. Those are pretty big questions for a lot of us. And it's been exciting for me to experiment with them in about 15 years of workshops and keynotes that I've been doing. I've been doing workshops on several continents for years and years all over the world. And I've had the opportunity to explore these questions with lots of people and wrestle with the ideas and bang on them and make sure that they hold up and knock down some ideas that actually are very prevalent in our society and are flat wrong. So that's kind of what we're exploring in the book. And we're exploring those through both stories of my own experiences around the world in Guatemala and in India and Australia and South Africa and various places I've had the privilege to travel and work, but also through historical stories that we all kind of know some version of. Stories from the Civil Rights era in the United States, for instance, that we have stripped away facts from until they fit the narrative that we like. But it's not actually the true narrative, and it's not actually a very empowering narrative. Last week I did a TV interview in Georgia where I was introduced as a motivational speaker, and I thought, not exactly. It's not self-help, it's not motivational speaking, but it kind of is, because I do want to motivate you, but I don't want to motivate you for making more money and having a bigger house and a promotion. I want to motivate you to change the world. I've got this 5-year-old son, and I want him to grow up in a world where people treat each other decently, a little better than they treat each other now. And so I have a vested interest in motivating you to get to work on the problems that you see in the world in small and accessible and bite-sized, chewable ways. Because as it turns out, that's how you have an effective impact. It's not by doing big dramatic things. There are heroes in the world, but heroes don't actually address the problems. The function of heroes is to inspire the rest of us to get to work. And when the rest of us get to work, that's when we address the problems. That's how it actually happens. That's one of the ideas in the book, and there are many others. So I'm very excited to share these with you and kick them around a little bit. If we fund the book, that would be so amazingly exciting. If you get excited about this too, and we get the book funded, we get to print it, and we get it out in people's hands, and it changes the world, wonderful. If we go past that goal, the goal that's up here somewhere, it's over, let's see, let me think about it. It's over here. There's a goal right here that says how much money we're trying to raise. That's to print the book. If we go past that, we can then fund this cool website that we're trying to create, which will give a place for people to share their stories and encourage each other. And there are causes for encouragement here. There are reasons to be encouraged. Here's the thing. I've written a book that has the made-up word world-changing in its title. Really easy to look at that and say, oh boy, that's naive. That's going to be flowers and butterflies and sunshine and nothing practical. Because it sounds naive when you talk about changing the world. But the truth is, it's not naive to think you can change the world. It's naive to think you could possibly be in the world and not change it. Everything you do changes the world, whether you like it or not. So the questions for us are, which changes do we want to make, and how do we go about making them? And those are the questions we're wrestling with in the book. So thank you for being excited about this with me. obviously I'm pretty excited. I'm a pretty low-key guy. This is kind of pegging out my excitement ometer. So thanks for being excited if you are with me, and please spread the word, tell your friends about it, and be a part of this. There's some cool ways over here for you to be a part of this if you want to, at various levels of involvement, and I welcome that, because this is how we change the world. We change it together. I just was thinking I should get some water, but let's give it a run, and then I'll get some water if I need it. This is very exciting.